So let's talk about bool. As we've seen before, bool with a capital B is from the namespace Firefly box, whereas bool with a lower b, let's say it like this, bool, and let's call it b2, this one b1. Bool with a lower b is from system boolean, and we can see that it is struct. That means that if we run our code right now, we can clearly see that b is false and b2 is null. Okay, which is the main difference between bool with a lower b to bool with a capital B. So I can say bool equals false or bool assigned by true, but I cannot say bool assigned by null because I'll get the message saying it's a non-nullable value type. Great. Now let's do b2 equals to null, b3 equals to true, and b4 is equal to false. Just like we can use bool, we can use a bool with a capital B. So I can say if b3, then debug right line b3 is true. Okay, and I can also say if not b4, then I can say debug right line not b4 is actually true because b4 is false. Let's run this and see what happens. Close parens. So b1, b2, b3, and b4. Perfect. And if we do if b3, it will go into this line. And if we do if not b4, we can go into this line. So a bool with a lowercase b, a bool with a capital B, or the migrated type bool, acts just like the bool from the non-migrated code in many cases, so in most cases, except that it accepts null. So one interesting question that comes up when we're talking about null, what happens if I do if b2, where we know that b2 is null? So let's check, let's test. Right line, b2 is null and is regarded as true, or b2 null is regarded as false. Now let's assign b2 to null, so it will prevent from this message. Remember, it says use of an unassigned local variable. We just need to make sure that we don't forget to assign it, or we want to make sure that we made it, that we actually wanted it to be null, so we'll do that. And let's run our code. So let's step through the code, and we can see that b3 is here, b4 is here, and b2 is null, and null will go to false. Okay, so if we are using a null value in a bool in an if statement, it will go to false. Same goes for and or. It will also apply to those exact measures.